When I mention the series Chainsaw Man, I know a lot of people watching this will think of a few things. Maybe it's the cinematic fight scenes, maybe it's that Spotify playlist you have with all the ending themes from the anime, maybe it's something a little more cultured. But when I think about Chainsaw Man, my mind immediately goes into Vietnam-style flashbacks that have completely ruined birthday cakes and snowball fights forever. Which is why I'm completely unashamed to admit that I am terrified after reading today's new chapter of Chainsaw Man, chapter 119. So today we're going to be talking about everything that happened, as well as even speculate on what some of this could mean. But first, I'm going to need everyone watching this video to scroll down real quick, leave a big like on this video, and subscribe to my channel. If everyone watching this video subscribes to my channel, you'll make me one step closer to achieving my dream. My dream of having everyone watching this video subscribe to my channel. Now, before we jump into this week's chapter, let's quickly look at what you guys thought about chapter 118. I've linked a poll at the top of the description where you guys can vote on what grade you think this chapter of Chainsaw Man should get. A, B, C, D, or F. And then at the beginning of the next chapter review video, we're going to go over the overall chapter GPA of this chapter, as well as some of your guys' comments on this video. About 400 people voted in my last poll. If that was one of you guys, thank you so much. And after crunching the numbers together, we get an overall chapter GPA of 3.69. Nice. I think we've gotten that score before because I'm pretty sure I made that same stupid joke last time, and that's a respectable score. The next Chainsaw Man chapter review poll is already live on my community tab, so after you're done watching that, feel free to click that link down below and leave your vote on there. Now, on to some of your guys' comments. Goat Luffy 97 says, Asa and Yoru are a true comedic power couple. They're taking so many L's in the story that I don't know if I should feel sympathy, pity, or laugh my ass off. Maybe the answer is yes. If you love how many L's Asa and Yoru take in this manga, I think you're gonna love this chapter. They're just catching stray ones at every left and right turn. The next comment comes to us from Unaversed. My idea on why Denji isn't turning into a weapon is because he technically already is a weapon, being Chainsaw Man. I feel like out of all of the theories that I've seen as to why Denji didn't transform, this is the one I feel like could end up making the most sense to me. Especially after reading this chapter where he seems to be a little dejected by the fact that Asa said she hates him. But time will give us all the answers, my friend. Thank you guys so much for all of your comments. Remember to leave your comments down below on this video as well, and maybe we'll talk about them at the beginning of next week's chapter review as well. Alrighty, I feel like you guys have been patient enough with me, so how about we jump into the reason why we're all here. First things first, I, as well as a lot of other people, had a lot of expectations going into this Denji and Asa movie home date and what could possibly happen. I know a lot of people, myself included, thought it would be hilarious if Yoshida invited himself on their date just to keep an eye on Denji. I'm honestly still not convinced he isn't hiding in the bushes somewhere. But more specifically, I had a lot of expectations as to what these unbreakable rules could be. I saw a lot of comments predicting that maybe these were all just mundane house rules and Denji was exaggerating on the punishment if she didn't follow them. And we know that Tatsuki Fujimoto is the king of subverting expectations, but after seeing some of these rules in practice, I think it's safe to say that there are some grave circumstances going on in Denji's household. I do believe that there's specific meaning behind each rule that Denji stated today as well. So rule number 1 was, under no circumstances can you open the door to anyone else's apartment. I've seen a lot of people online already kind of write this off as maybe Denji doesn't have the right community living etiquette to understand that you're not supposed to open people's doors anyway. But I think a lot of people are overstating just how stupid or unaware Denji is. Sure, he grew up in a dilapidated shack, but he's lived with Aki for like half a year, so I'd assume he knows better by now. Now, if this were a story about power, then yeah, I'm certain she'd still try to break into other people's houses. But the point is that there's probably something not right, sus even, about the apartment building where he lives. As to what could be behind the other doors, I have no clue. Maybe you guys might have an idea. But their apartment building is sus. Moving on to Denji and Nayuta's apartment itself, I love the fact that you can see Denji and Nayuta's personality strewn throughout the apartment. There were stickers on the back of the front door, arts and crafts material on the floor, a classic Japanese grade schooler's backpack by the bookshelf, and these are all traces of Nayuta in their apartment. And then there was a fart counting chart on the wall for Denji. Now, ignoring all of the other terrifying shit that's happened in this chapter, I'm actually quite comforted by this fart chart. I want to dive deeper into this fart chart. Clearly, Denji and Nayuta live a very tranquil and happy life together, just ripping ass and making crafts. It looks like Nayuta might even go to school based on the backpack by the bookshelf. So even though at the end of the chapter Nayuta did a go-go gadget stabby chain maneuver, she might still be somewhat normal. I understand that this statement kind of contradicts itself, but still, my point stands. But on to the second rule. Under no circumstances can Asa open up the fridge. Denji, why can't you open the fridge? I have genuinely no clue as to why this could be a rule. At the end of part 1, Denji said he already finished all of the Makima meat leftovers, so there's no way any of that could be in there. There's a worry in the back of my mind that the ending of Chainsaw Man part 1 triggered some kind of complex in the Control Devil's mind, where she has to constantly feed pieces of her body to Denji. So I'm worried that if they open up the fridge, there's just gonna be like Nayuta arms and legs and stuff in there. I have no reason to believe this, it just seems like something Fujimoto would do, especially after being a Fire Punch reader. Whatever it may be, there's clearly a reason as to why if Asa opens up the refrigerator door, she will die. But my mind can't help but wander to the worst possible explanation as to why you can't open the refrigerator door. But the third rule is that under no circumstances can Asa make out with Denji in front of Nayuta. Babe, you're just gonna have to control yourself and your lioness urges. I know how hard it must be to sit still in front of an absolute specimen like myself. I love how seriously he said that too, like the dude actually thought she'd be down like that. Remember how suave he seemed a few weeks ago when he said he was gonna take her out on a super awesome date? We put way too much faith into our boy here. And Asa reacts completely how we expected she would act. She's completely disgusted. But then Asa shows a little bit of compassion by warning Denji to stay away from her, that she has some unbreakable rules too, and if he breaks them, he could end up dead himself. She even goes as far as to push him away by brutally saying that she only ever went on a date with him to distract herself, because she was bored. Denji then has one of the funniest internal monologues of the series thus far, trying to figure out where he could have possibly gone wrong, leading him to ask Asa, "Do dogs smell bad?" To which Fujimoto hits us with the worst jump scare of Chainsaw Man history. I almost threw my phone at the wall when I turned the page. Yoru decides that she needs to take matters into her own hand because Asa's just gonna fuck this up, so she just starts making out with him. Also, side note, I just realized that Denji was wearing a Chainsaw Man shirt throughout their entire date. Why did we think this man ever had a chance? But crazy enough, Yoru's actually pretty flushed by this. Like, red in the face, scars and eyes still there, visibly, like, into it, to the point where she's even freaked out when the door opens. Scars and eyes, still there. This is Yoru. So, not only does this show that Yoru genuinely feels attraction towards Denji, but it also means that Asa still likes him too. But now in comes the problem child herself, Nayuta, and she's looking more and more like Makima than ever. And she sees this scene, what she's come in upon, and she sends a chain straight through Yoru's face. Now, I don't actually know if this was a physical chain that genuinely shot through her head, but if it is, Asa's gonna have a lot of explaining to do when she gets up seemingly unscathed. Actually, when I take a closer look, it does kind of seem like there's some blood speckles on the entry and exit wounds, so maybe this is actually a real chain. But either way, this is the truly scary part. Why did Nayuta call Yoru a thief? Why is she enforcing these rules so strictly? And why is she looking more and more like Makima? So, as I aptly clickbaited the title of this video, is Nayuta still actually Makima, or does she still have some of Makima's memories? Now, I don't actually think that Nayuta retains any of her memories from her life as Makima, but I don't think it would be so much of a stretch to say that Nayuta actually, technically, is Makima. She's Makima reincarnated, but it seems like some of Makima's tendencies have potentially passed on to Nayuta. Things like her fashion sense, her affinity for dogs, being a crazy fucking bitch, you know, the core personality traits. The only thing I don't know the answer to is why did she call Yoru a thief? I have a few potential ideas as to why she said that, but it's hard to know without more context as to Nayuta's characterization. Potentially, Nayuta is a yandere brocon who wants Denji all to herself to the point where she'll even kill romantic rivals. This I kinda doubt, because why would Denji allow Asa to come to his apartment if this were a possibility in the first place? The other thought I have is that potentially Nayuta secretly either loves or hates Chainsaw Man, like Makima, and either wants to kill him or control him. Maybe Nayuta actually is aware of who Yoru is, even though Yoru probably isn't aware of who she is, and she's probably thinking, he's mine, either to kill or, you know, control like Makima. But once again, this is where you guys excel. If you have any Nayuta theories at all, remember to leave them down below in the comments. That's about all for this week's chapter review. Unfortunately, we're going to be having another 2-week break between now and the next chapter, but in the meantime, I'm going to be live streaming on my YouTube channel as well as putting out some other videos, so stick around for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Wow, 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 wow.